Fight His MMA, a special edition. This one popped up on me. I wasn't expecting. I need my daughter to introduce who I have here today. Tell them, baby, who do I have today?
This is Mr. Fanuel. How do you pronounce your last name?
Magangani.
Magangani. He is the Bishop of Malawi. There's only 2 bishops in Malawi. So this is very extraordinary. And I'm very pleased that he has reached out to me and he wanted to see me. He is finishing up his degree in ministry, your doctoral.
Yeah.
So
That's what's going on. So I just got a chance to meet this young man. My daughter and he are hanging out today while he's over here. His trip is going to be brief. I think you'll be leaving tomorrow, won't you?
Yes.
You'll be back out the door tomorrow, y'all. It's just like in the fight game. Y'all come in, do what y'all supposed to do, and y'all be right back out the door. So it is a pleasure and an honor to meet you. Tell us, what have you been doing here since you've been here this time? How long have you been here this time in the United States?
Yes, I arrived on the 22nd in Dallas, Fort Worth. And then from there, I moved to Wisconsin because I had my graduation there.
Okay.
At the Nashotah House, Wisconsin, on the 24th.
Oh, so the graduation has happened, you guys.
Yes.
yes.
Yeah. And, then I moved back to Fort Worth because we are in partnership with the Diocese of Fort Worth in Texas. And I was there, then over the weekend, I came over to Norfolk, visiting my colleagues who are also here in Norfolk, Virginia.
They must have been very happy and honored to see you.
Yes, they have seen me all these years. Almost every other year but 1 year I have not been coming since 2011.
Okay.
Except 1 year, 2016, I was not here. Okay. But all these years I have been coming, at least the summer. You call it your summer. But at home, this is winter.
Really?
Yes, when you have summer here, we have winter there.
Oh my God, is that how far apart we are?
Yeah.
Jesus,
6 months, season apart. That's upside down because we are in the south, you are in the north. So when it is summer this side, we got winter that side.
Oh my God.
And because we're in the tropic, we do not have 4 seasons, we only have 2 seasons. Summer and winter, just that.
That's unbelievable. I didn't even know. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what is winter like in your home?
It depends from where you are because we have the different elevations.
Okay.
Like where I stay in Zuzu, which is 1,200 meters above sea level, there it's cool all the time. But the cool that we are talking about should be about 10 degrees Celsius to 18 degrees centigrade. That's I don't know how it is in Fahrenheit. But
y'all do the math.
Only in centigrade. Then the summers in Zuzu could be from 22 to 28 degrees Celsius. That's the summer. But when you go down to the other places like the lower areas, in lakeshore areas, there you may not see any kind of winter, probably during night. But during day, it's about 23 to 28 during winter, and summers will be about 30 to 38 degrees Celsius, probably maybe 100 or so when it is summer in those areas, the lower areas, because the elevations is very low, and therefore it's hot.
I heard that, didn't you? That's my cell phone. Sorry, y'all.
It's Dalton.
Oh.
Sorry.
I'm calling back. That's
hey,
my other
I'm going to
help.
call you back.
So, what are you doing here besides visiting? Are you working on some stuff? Are you trying to pull some stuff together? So when you go back home, you guys are working on some things. You want to tell me what you are working on?
All the time, we meet people who want to help in different ways. So, like a diocesan bishop, we have so many things that we do apart from evangelization. because in our context, what we call the gospel, it goes beyond the preaching of the word. Because you meet a hungry person, what is the gospel when you meet that person who is hungry? And what is the gospel when you meet a patient who is sick, who needs medication? What is the gospel when you have students who do not have shelter for their education? What is the gospel when we have all these gender-based violences against women, against all what is so the question is, what is the gospel? Right. So for us, the gospel is just not only sharing the word of God, but also in doing other interventions in social and areas of life, like how do we help the livelihood. Mm-hmm. So in the diocese, we run several projects. We have schools, primary school, which you call them elementary school here. So we run those schools, and we also run secondary school, which is high school.
High school.
High school, yeah. Okay. We are not yet there to have a college, but other churches they have also college and universities, but we are not yet there. We are doing at the lower level of education. But we also do have healthy programs. We have our hospitals and health centers across the area in the diocese. So we try to see how we can help. Most of the time, you may know, we also engage in providing scholarship for girls who want to do nursing.
Wow.
Yeah, so we have only put nursing as the initial medicine as the only area of interest, knowing that we cannot do everything. Right. But we have centered on medical training. Mm-hmm. Those that are trained like clinical officers, maybe trained as a nurse. We try to look for resources and support at least one or two who, after they've come back from college, they work in our hospitals, because our hospitals are in hardly to reach areas where people may not want to be there. There's skills, those that have got skills like a professional nurse may not want to stay there because of being in the hardly to reach. Always our interventions are to do with people who are not able to help themselves. So we're in the rural areas where they may not be happy to be there. There's no electricity, there's no water, they will not be happy. So what we do, once we have done the scholarship part, they've been educated, we put them in a bond that they work in these rural areas. And at one point, they may be moved to at least an urban area, but first they should help those people who are...
It's like a reach back program.
Yeah,
okay.
So that's what we do for nurses. So far we have about 6 nurses that we train, and we are also training one medical doctor. She may be finishing in the next 4 or 5 years.
Congratulations, everybody that's on your journey, and thank you for all the hard work that you're putting in. Thank you. So, out of all the areas that you have named, which one to you seems to need the most? I know all of them could use help, but which is your pet? Which is the one you...
Oh, my challenge I see is the scholarship part.
Okay, so you love making sure that scholarship money is there for the ones who want to move on.
Yes, because that's where I see there's a problem. We can also change life for people there. Okay. If we can help as many people to get these scholarships and be able to get the skills, they will be able to save more people. So I would say the scholarship part is where my heart is. Okay. I always say that because I know my own background. If I did not have the kind of support, I would not be where I am today. My life story is a story of God Himself doing in my life, because I was raised as an orphan, and we lost our parents when I was 14 years old, and in a family of 9 children. So through that life, without the support of other people, I would not have been where I am today. So I thank God that God put some people on my way that now even say I graduated with a doctorate from that route. It was not easy. So I know there are a lot of people, a lot of children who have got a good destiny, but because of challenges in life, they'll be unable to unlock the destiny. So I believe that I'm here as a bishop, not for my own sake, but for the sake of many people, especially the orphans. Those are my brothers and sisters. I would also want to see them growing the way I have also grown. So somehow I try to tell them that it is possible. I've gone through that life. I know that God is able to put people on your way. So that's where I put my heart and interest. And the budget in scholarship is more than any other budget of the diocese. And I know that the standing committee sometimes challenges me. Why do you put more emphasis on one aspect over many other things? I think that if we train someone, we are giving them a lifetime benefit, a lifetime experience, a lifetime survival mechanism. So it's better to lift their hearts and lives of some of the orphans who can unlock. Those that are interested to do study, they are my friends. But if you are not going to school,
you heard the bishop himself. Don't even come over here. If you're not talking about some books, don't come over here. He loves everybody, but if you're not trying to get your education to move forward and be productive, he has nothing for you.
That's so true.
That's okay. I mean, we all gotta have standards and requirements at all times. If we don't, then we end up with anything.
Yeah.
I definitely respect
Sure.
that.
Yeah.
This is not something that I expected. I've been on my own little whirlwind of stuff I've been doing lately, but this is such an honor, and I think it falls right into what I have been doing right here, just directly. My young man is coming back from his bare knuckle fighting championship. He also is. His mission is to inspire,
Right.
and take his past and his history and show that it's possible for us to change if we want to change.
That's true.
And what we get out of life is what we put into it. So I think my daughter has just really blessed me with this, being able to sit down and have these few moments with you and be able to meet you. This is an honor for me. You don't know. Thank you so much. I hope that your time here has been so great this time. I cannot wait to see you the next time you come back.
Yes.
My daughter, you and my daughter were kind of giving me a little sneak tips on some radio station back home.
Yes,
you
that's
working on
what I want
that?
to. Yeah, working
Because you
on
know
that.
my peoples that be watching, they could, they might jump on and
Oh,
say,
yeah.
Miss Nikki, we can yes.
Yeah, we pray that it should happen soon.
Okay.
Because that's our ambition to have it done. It's going to help in many ways, education, but also trying to do evangelism using the radio. So,
and spread news.
yeah,
Spread the
spread
good news.
the good news, and stories,
Yes.
good practices that other people are doing somewhere. Mass media is one of the tools that we can harness to reach out to the many people that may not see you, but they can listen to you.
Yes, that's where many rally cries are heard.
Yeah.
Many. So
Mm.
if there's anything that we, that Fight His MMA, can do to put this information out every step of the way, if you need me to say something and keep reminding people, you let me know.
Oh, yes.
So I can keep reminding people. And somebody's going to see this. One of my fabulous guys or girls over here that have many talents, like my daughter, like my son, will see this and it'll pull them.
Yes.
And somebody will be at me about, what can I do, Miss Nikki?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my goodness!
Let's get us started. That's what I can say.
This is awesome. Are you married? Do you have a family?
Yes, I have a family.
Okay.
A family of 7 children.
What?
Wow.
Look at you, Fishy. You too much.
But you know, the understanding is different.
Yes.
In where I come from, everyone who stays with you is your children.
Okay.
So there's a difference.
He said, I got 7 children. I didn't have 7 children.
I only have one son.
Okay.
A biological son, only one, who is 19 years old.
Okay. Hey, young man.
Yeah, but I have other children that are staying with us from the young age.
Okay.
Those that have grown up with us, it's where they are. Some,
Now,
the
adopted
oldest is,
family you've been talking about.
I would
right?
not say adopted,
No,
because that word does not exist.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll take that back.
Yeah. That word does not exist in our culture, because there's no paperwork I need to do that.
Yeah.
But they are staying with me as family.
Okay, like what we in the
In
United States
English,
call extended family.
Yeah, in English, the United States, you can call extended.
Okay.
But in my context, they are not extended. They are a family.
They are just family.
They are family. There is no extension. Because the code of extension is the line edge.
Okay.
The line is not extended. It's the same line.
Now y'all see Bishop got jokes, right? It wasn't me, it was Bishop.
Yeah, because we have the same parent.
Right.
And then my sister's children cannot be regarded as extended.
Right, because they're
Yeah, some are from three are from my sisters.
okay.
These are not
Oh,
extended.
so this is just really your family.
My family.
Okay.
And then
okay.
it's
No matter what, you ain't getting rid of it, Bishop.
yeah, so
They
but in our context, there's no such a word like extended family. It doesn't exist in our language. And in English, that's why I use the word children, because it translates the word ana in our context. Mwana, ana is plural of mwana. Mwana is one child. And then ana can be children. And then the way it puts it in Chichewa, it doesn't bring any kind of distinction between biological children and non-biological children. We use the same word.
Okay.
So there is no distinction. Yeah. That's why we say it takes the whole village to raise a child, because the child belongs to the village. It belongs to all of us. So that's why the issue of adoption does not exist. We only can consider adoption when somebody comes from afar to adopt a child. Yes, like Madonna, for example. She adopted 4 children from our country. Yeah, that is an adoption, because she's coming from somewhere and take our children to raise them, give them a good opportunity they would not have at home. Mm-hmm. So that way we can understand this as adoption, right, because there's no family relationship.
Well, when you first spoke about it, see, I didn't know you said you had one son that is, that is truly yours. And see, when you say that, I just knew you were going to say maybe he had a couple friends that,
yeah,
their family may have come upon a hard time. We all always take a time and invite people into our home and try to look after them and make sure they have a good,
that's the
foundation.
Spirit I have also. That
so I think I was understanding what you said. Maybe I just used the wrong word, but I definitely understood.
No, I understand. I was trying to explain so that not only you, but other people can understand what I'm saying.
Right.
Because it's not only he. I was prepared to answer that way, because I know people wonder when I say 7 children. I expected that you would be surprised, because you're not the first person to ask that question, and also not to grasp it on the glance. I have always to explain what I mean, because we live in different cultures.
Right.
The cultural perspective is different from where I come from, and also from here it is different. So every time I say that, I know that I need to explain further.
That's all right. That's
But
okay.
it's good. I'm not offended at all. But I know it is.
I appreciate that.
No. I very much was aware, because this is what happens. Because I use English, which is not my language, and therefore when I use it, I want to make sure it should translate.
That's surprising when you speak English so well.
I don't know if it translated to what I mean, but it should also sound closely to my own language, which does not have any distinction in terms of whoever stays in your family.
Well, if it's ever a chance that my daughter and I can come up, and I'm pretty sure whatever you and her are going to get into together, you know, she'll probably end up making a trip over there to your country.
That'll be good.
And I would love to be there. I would love to experience that.
Thank you.
Yes.
You'll experience that. It's all.
Hello?
I know some because of the many challenges
This is
of
her daughter,
orphans.
Nikki. This
We
is her
have
daughter,
about
Nikki. I'm sorry.
2 million orphans in the country.
Really?
Yeah. A country of 17 million
Think if it's
people.
me, she's doing
So
an interview.
about 2 million are considered to be orphans.
So, with that being said, is it possible for families from the United States to adopt children?
Oh yeah, we've seen Madonna adopting children
Alright.
there.
Okay. Oh, so that your country? Oh, that's where Madonna adopted her family from.
That's where Madonna came to adopt children.
See.
So it's possible because we know, but you have to follow all the procedures that are there. And the example we have is Madonna.
Let me ask you a question. So, with that being said, I know we always like to start at home and try, you know, but looking at it from that standpoint, how does, I don't know how to ask this question, but how does the people from your country feel about Americans coming to maybe adopt children from y'all outside of Madonna? Because everybody ain't rich like Madonna and fabulous, so you know the rest of us is just hard working people hopping on the back of the garbage truck trying to make a living. I'm saying is it what do they welcome it? Are they suspicious of it? Or are they just like, well?
Yeah, of course the whole thing is new to us.
Okay.
We've not had any experience like that. When it first happened, when Madonna, for example, came in, that's when the whole dictionary began to make sense. What is adoption? What is adoption? So we started to look at the dictionary to understand the word adoption. Yes, we could understand it probably from the biblical point of view, but when it comes to culture, it was the first of its kind to come at the open, and that's why it took time for everyone to understand what it means. Even those who gave away their children, they did not understand what it means to have a child adopted. So because of that, it created misunderstandings. This family may even think, maybe the way we do, because what we do there, you may stay with a child in your home, helping in everything. When they want to go, they just walk out and go back to their home. But adoption does not work like that. It's your child.
Yeah. Stuck with me. Absolutely.
So that understanding was not there. And that's why maybe there was too much of talk in the media, because we did not understand it that way according to our culture.
Right.
God, as you stay with that person, no paperwork, nothing. Then when they want to walk out, they'll walk out. But adoption doesn't work like that. So we are now learning, and they have put some principles. There were some rules according to the constitution of the country. So there is now an awareness to bring an awareness to the people's mind that this is how it works. Because the law is there that allows adoption to happen. But it was not practiced in that way until when it was put on the public domain to begin discuss about it. Now we understand. But fortunately, there is a principle that the child in the early days needs to be coming to the country to keep up with the line of their family, so that they do not just let the child disappear, but there's a provision that they'll be kind of coming to see the family. The family should be able to see the child growing. And also the country have interest to know how that child is being raised outside. Also to keep a track of following what is going on in the life of that child who is being adopted.
The progress, yes.
Yeah, the progress, what is going on there. So because some people may come to adopt a child there for other purposes.
Gotcha.
Human trafficking
Yes.
and all other things. So to avoid human trafficking, we there's a need to put the principles. So they are some policies to follow. That
A
is
follow-up program.
yeah, for a program to know that indeed the child is being protected, is being
Yes.
taken care of. There is a follow-up through the social services. They need to follow that, officers, to keep the track and to be able to be following that indeed the child is being protected, is alive, is being given all the necessary support that is needed. So there's that kind of follow-up system to avoid human trafficking, because the world is evil, it's no longer the same. So to avoid that, there are these mechanisms that are put in place to make sure indeed that that child is alive, that child goes to school, not being abused where they have been taken to.
Now, I know you're looking at my face, and I know you know what I'm about to probably ask you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to have that conversation if you allow us to.
Yeah.
So what you think about this situation with these 1,500 children that the United States government has lost? They don't know where these children are.
I have no idea. I haven't heard about that. What happened?
They lost 1,500 children. That's what somebody said a couple weeks ago. Somebody asked about the kids, and they said, we have no idea what happened.
Where are the children?
They don't know.
They didn't know.
It's
They
not
do
funny,
not
but
know.
What
it's
happened?
very serious.
1,500
children
children missing.
just missing, gone, vanished.
Where?
They don't know.
Yeah, so I
I
did
mean, I
not
thought
know
you
that.
might have. I thought you might have a
No,
little bit of something.
I've not been getting news.
The news.
So if anything, I'm only interested to learn what is going on at home if I have time to read news.
Right.
So I'm not reading the country's news here. I'm always trying to check what is going on there at home.
Yeah. So they
But it's
lost.
sad.
Where was these children from, Jamaica?
I don't know. Probably the majority of them were probably from DC
Mhm.
or in the northern states.
I have no
Where did
idea.
the children originally migrate from? That the United States was able to get hold of them and disperse them out to families. What was that about?
Oh, I don't.
We'll have to figure that out. But those 1,500 kids they don't know where these children are put. They don't know what is going on with these children, and they feel like they are not responsible once they place the children with the family.
Yeah.
Oh, she's talking about adopted children. I thought she was
Yeah.
talking about
So
the children from
That
here.
makes no sense to me. Whatever the situation was,
Mm.
we got to do better. We have got to do better. We cannot tell people.
Yeah.
So these 1,500 children were not even originally from the United States.
I don't believe so. I think they were refugees of some situation.
Did they go back to their place or not?
We don't know where the kids are. Send them back to their families.
All right.
You get it now? So you got 1,500 families, or a dividend of that, wondering where their child that was supposed to be looked after for a certain amount of time while they get their life back together or whatever
Yeah.
they were going through. Now they don't know where their
That's why we put the system in place to be following up. Whoever adopt a child from our country, there is a system that they'll keep on track to check what is going on with this child.
Damn, how can they get that done and we can't?
Yeah.
And it's not that we can't, it's just that somebody did not follow the procedure. That's what that is.
That's a problem.
Oh my God, you ain't lying. I bet you that there's some kids right now looking like, where's my mom or where's my family? We was only supposed to be here for a little while.
Unfortunately, we cannot say they went back home because there's a ocean. There's a big ocean that they cannot just jump and go. They must be taken by somebody.
I think with enough chatter about it, they'll figure out what happened. I'm
Yeah,
quite
they'll
sure they're
find
probably
out.
figuring
There's a
what's going
system.
on right
Yeah.
now. But this is not even something we should have to have a conversation about. 1,500 kids that's missing and nobody. Come on, boo.
Mm.
So what's your favorite meal from home?
It's not about favorite there. It's about what is available.
Stop. See, we try to be all serious, and you keep on making me. They said it ain't even about that sister. We got to do what we got.
That's not true. I'm telling you that how it works there. It's not about choice.
Okay.
It's about what is available. And also the way I was brought up, being in a place where I cannot choose. we started stopping choosing when we were in our family, 1986. From 1986 onwards, I started to live a life where I had no choice. And therefore, in my life, anything to choose is always a challenge. I have one time to choose. So normally there, we eat in Shima and fish at home. That is the most affordable food, Shima and fish, or sometimes beans.
So I would suspect
Irish potato, sort of.
I would suspect that y'all grow a lot of your own vegetables.
Yeah, we do grow our own
and
vegetables.
And get a lot of meat on y'all's own.
Yeah, we just we raise our own chicken,
Okay.
the local ones.
So are y'all's chickens over there as big as the ones that we see over here?
At least every.
Are their drumsticks this big over there?
We have these hybrid chicken also. They are raised there, but also local chicken. Those that have been there, passing on from generation to another generation. We have them. You raise them in your home, backyard. They know their home. They just free range. They go to look for their own food.
So you can tell the difference when you eat the
Yeah,
free range chicken from the hybrid chicken.
Yes, you can tell the difference. The
You
free
like
range
that free range better, don't you?
The free range is good because it's healthier.
Right.
And, no chemical in it.
Yeah.
Look, I want to ask about that hybrid chicken, but I think I'm gonna leave that one alone.
Yeah,
Lord.
but the hybrid ones, they are also available. But this time around, people like to eat the free range one because those are raised naturally, without any kind of chemical. It's just natural.
Is there anything that from your country that is exported over here to the United States that we use regularly?
Yeah, I think you have our coffee.
Yes.
It's blended as Mzuzu coffee or Chipunga coffee.
Oh, y'all heard that? Boom.
Mzuzu coffee. You may have it here in Amazon. You can buy. And then also we have hot sauce nari.
Hot sauce.
From Malawi, called nari.
You're going to have to
Very
send me a
popular.
bottle of that.
Yeah.
I'm a hot sauce fan.
I'll try to look for one even whilst here. At Father Davenport's house, he may have nari there.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I would show love.
And we also grow rice that we can export. But the main cash crop is tobacco. And that's what propels the economy of the country every year. Tobacco based. But because of the anti-smoking campaign, the market is now dwindling. So we need to change from what used to be the main cash crop. We need to look for other crops.
Maybe sugar.
Sugar we do have also. Yeah, we
like sugar too.
Yeah, we produce sugar. No, I'm a private person. Most of the time I don't want to talk about what.
I just wanted to know how she feels about all your I know that you're not always home and she misses you dearly and have her moments with her man. So
it's only I can see the cultural differences.
Oh Lord.
Right.
Oh my God.
So all we gonna get about his wife is that she is a wonderful mother and that she is a wonderful wife and that she makes his free range chicken very awesomely for him and that's all he gonna say because he wants to keep on living and that's that.
That's it. Thank you very much.
It was so nice to meet you, Bishop.
Thank you, Mom.
Oh look here, man. What do y'all want? What do y'all want? Fight Heads MMA in the house once again. Y'all breaking down the barriers. That's what I'm doing. We in.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Bye, y'all.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Thank you very much.